Good afternoon, folks. This is Deb Delapiana, and this is your short take. I have been missing for a few days because I have COVID again. So, this is International Women's History Month. And I, in particular, think we need to talk about three women in the present who have absolutely no business being elevated. We're going to start with Nancy Mace. So, Nancy Mace was being interviewed by George Stephanopoulos, and she was asked a very legitimate question. Now, she went on to reveal that she was raped at the age of 16, blah, 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 blah. I got it, okay? And George Stephanopoulos legitimately asked her how she can continue to support Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump, although he was convicted of sexual assault, is a rapist. And let's talk about that for a minute, okay? Because when Donald Trump tried to get his penalty in the civil trial reduced, the judge rejected it out of hand. And this is why. So hang on here. I'm going to take you to a page. So it says here that while various states define rape in different ways, every state criminalizes oral, anal, and vaginal sexual contact that is non-consensual. And this is according to Sandy Johnson, the Senior Legislative Policy Council, Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. Prior to its new law, New York defined penetration of the vagina or other bodily orifices with anything other than a penis as, quote, sexual abuse rather than rape. So let's talk about that, okay? New York has since changed its law, by the way. And the judge who rejected Donald Trump's request for a reduction in penalty stated that whether he used his penis or his fingers, he effectively met the definition of rape, even though he didn't meet it in New York statute, okay? Which I say has been changed. But regardless of whether Donald Trump can be called a rapist or a sexual abuser, the question that Nancy Mace was asked was legitimate, because honestly, I ask any women, whether they've been raped or not, how they can support Donald Trump. It's a legitimate question. He is at every turn disrespecting women across the board. Not only did he lose twice to E. Jean Carroll, but he has 20 other women alleging the same things that she did. She's just the only person that had the courage to come forward. It's a legitimate question. No, George Stephanopoulos did not rape shame Nancy Mace. She used that she beat that horse to death during this entire interview as a way to not answer that question. Okay? And then when it got to the point where she did answer it, her response was this. It was a civil trial only. It wasn't a criminal trial. You got to be kidding me. How low life can you get? Nancy Mace, you know, the only reason she won her district in South Kakalaki there was because her district was gerrymandered for her to win. I'm going to suggest to you that if you're a woman in South Carolina, you need to get rid of this bitch, okay? She is undoubtedly someone who does not belong on a list of women whose accomplishments should ever be touted. She is, without a doubt, one of the 10 most reprehensible women in Congress right now, okay? And there are a lot of them, all right? We could start with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, lowlifes, all of them. Number two, let's take one from the Democratic side. We'll take Kyrsten Sinema, who, by the way, was touted as a progressive when she first ran. Even I believed it. because I got a letter from Elizabeth Warren. So Sinema had everybody fooled. And I swear she was just a ringer from the get-go. But this is Kyrsten Sinema's list of accomplishments as a Democratic senator. She upheld the filibuster. And then she celebrated by fist bumping with her buddy, Joe Manchin, another piece of slime. Killing the Voting Rights Act. Doubling childhood poverty by refusing to extend the child tax credit. And killing the raising of the minimum wage. Those are all the things that Kyrsten Sinema voted against. And I, for one, am positively thrilled that she is choosing not to run again. She'll go become a lobbyist somewhere, make a lot of money, or maybe she'll do what, Rick Scott did before he became a senator. Maybe she'll go to work for some kind of a medical company so she can scam Medicare. She'll be somewhere where she'll earn money, because really that's the end of the day. That's all that Kyrsten Sinema is about. So see you, Kyrsten. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. And then number 3, let's go back to Katie Britt. And the reason I go back to her, even though I already skewered her once, is because now the woman who was sex trafficked at the root of her big speech has stepped forward to tell the truth about her plight. She was not sex trafficked under Joe Biden. That event happened years ago when W was president. George W. Bush was president at the time that happened. And furthermore, she was not sex trafficked in the United States. So Katie Britt, not only in her little breathless word salad rebuttal to the State of the Union address, not only doubled down on her position, defending herself after lying, just flat out lying. But people continue to defend her. The GOP continues to defend her. You know what? I got to tell you something. The people of Alabama, they should have had enough of this woman by now. I'm not sure, like I've said before, I could never live below the Mason-Dixon line. It just wouldn't work for me and my family, okay? We're just not there, all right? I understand you're more conservative, but, character counts whether you're a liberal or a conservative. Having some kind of character counts. And to me, once someone does something like re-victimizing a victim of sex trafficking for political gain, to boost a man who is a convicted rapist, I'm going to call it for what it is, because when you stick your fingers in a woman's vagina against her will, that is rape, okay? He's a rapist. I do not understand how women in this country can take any of these positions. It's mind-boggling to me. I'm sure there's reasons that Wendy Rogers and Katie Britt and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert and, Nancy Mace and, any of the other slimy women of the GOP exist. I'm sure there's a reason for that. But literally, if you are not any of these women, if you are a woman who can actually have some kind of self-respect, it is time for you to turn against the GOP for your own good. Unless, of course, you're one of those women who thinks you deserve to be a second-class citizen. I'll talk to you all later.